I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. I am. And what is that date? What was I thinking? I'm so sorry for being late. It's been almost a full year of this podcast, and I have not been late yet, and I don't plan on doing it again unless I get sick, which, spoiler alert, that's why I'm a couple days late, or not even, probably about 36 hours late when this comes out, I would imagine. But I have a good excuse. I was sick, and luckily, knock on wood, it was not COVID. That's a good feeling to get back. I could imagine the only thing better than getting a negative COVID test result would be getting a negative STD test. And to be honest, it might depend on what STD it is, because I found out from my friends who have much more exciting lives than I do that apparently some STDs are just a quick, what am I on? Antibiotic, and then it's gone. I don't want to get any of them, and I'm in a committed relationship, so if I get any, you're in trouble. But no, it's a long few days waiting for that COVID test result. It's nerve-wracking, and you can't call anybody, but I found something new out about myself that I like to stress about things and will call places that have no one to pick up because maybe they just hired someone. You know that old Verizon commercial where someone was just sitting in a room answering the phone, going, yes, 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 to the guy who's saying, can you hear me now? That's what I imagined, is that the COVID test place would answer the phone, but they didn't. But yeah, that is, other than STD tests, which are terrible, COVID tests are just as unfun. But I am on the mend, almost completely better. Not quite. I sound like, I actually kind of like this voice. I feel like I'm very deep, manly, and masculine now. Otherwise, I sound sort of like the Pillsbury Doughboy, and I guess the Pillsbury Doughboy converted to Judaism. That's how I would describe my overall aesthetic normally. But now I sound like James Earl Jones converted to Judaism. No. But I had a decent week. Again, it was a little bit stressful, but it was nice to get to relax a little bit. I didn't do much. Although I did kind of mess up a little bit. I went out the morning before I got my test results, and I went and I ran an errand. I couldn't help it. I needed to return something to the post office. I wore a mask. I wore gloves. And I knew I didn't have it. I was pretty sure I didn't have it. But I realized how hypocritical I can be because, before this, when other people were getting COVID, I'm like, how can you go out and then you spend 5 days in a small bedroom with a twin bed that you grew up in as a child, and it turns out that Instagram runs out of stories for you to watch, and you get a little bit antsy, and you're like, well, I'll just go return this to the post office, and even though you're wearing a mask and gloves, which I was, turns out that was probably not the smartest move, but turns out I didn't have COVID. But very quickly, before I start this episode, I wanted to thank one of our sponsors for this week, and that is because it is very near and dear to my heart. I really do feel like it helps people, and I wanted to just shine as bright of a light on them as possible. And I wanted to let you know that the What Was I Thinking podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there anything interfering with your happiness or standing in the way of your goals? Happens to me a lot, whether I have no motivation or even if I'm motivated to do something, but I can't make a choice. I had a lot of issues with that, and BetterHelp is here to assess your needs and match you with a licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in less than 48 hours. This is not a crisis line. This is not self-help. BetterHelp is professional therapy delivered securely online. BetterHelp therapists have a broad range of expertise and are available worldwide. You don't need to live in a big city to get specialized mental health services anymore. Log into your BetterHelp account anytime to send a message to your therapist. With BetterHelp, you will get a timely, thoughtful response. Schedule weekly video or phone sessions at your convenience. With BetterHelp, you won't have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room again. I've done that, and I'm using BetterHelp for therapy, but I used the medical version of this with my insurance to go to a doctor when I was sick. It's so much better. Who wants to, when you're not feeling great, whether it's mentally, physically, whatever, you don't want to drive, fight traffic, parking, wait. No, you click, boom, it happens. It's so much better. We're living in the future, and take advantage of it with BetterHelp. It's great. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available. Changing counselors is easy and free. I wonder what changeling means. Changing counselors is easy and free. Visit betterhelp.com/reviews to read testimonials about specific counselors so you can know if other people like them or not and if they would be a good fit for you. Join the over 1 million people who have gotten help from experienced professionals to take charge of their mental health. BetterHelp is so popular that they're recruiting more therapists in all 50 states. So if you're a therapist and you need a job, BetterHelp wants you. BetterHelp has a special offer for What Was I Thinking listeners. Visit betterhelp.com/Lee for 10% off of your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Lee for 10% off of your first month. BetterHelp, HELP.com/Lee for 10% off of your first month. BetterHelp.com/Lee. Sign up for BetterHelp to start living a happier life today. Thank you so much to BetterHelp. But I do mean that, by the way, about, doing things virtually. It's a lot better. I wish I could do so much more virtually. I'm waiting for food delivery where I can virtually take the food from them and bring it to me. I'm leaning hard into the robot butler iRobot scenario. I can't wait. If I never had to leave my house again, I would do it. I know some people are like, well, you get bored. Not. And I feel like with a girlfriend and maybe kids, yeah, I guess if you have a family, what do you really need? I guess you might need, if you have kids, you might want a vacation. You're like, listen, I didn't want to leave my house until I had kids, and now I need to get on the road. I'm going to turn into a traveling salesman. Nope. I'm sure you love your kids. Yeah, it's so much fun though. And that's sort of what I wanted to talk about today. Would be like my ideal sick day, because other than being sick days are kind of awesome, and that's why I know. I mean, if you haven't seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, spoiler alert, he pretends to be sick. Which Mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I did do a couple times. I actually this is a trick for you. I didn't even plan on telling you this. If you, for whatever reason, wanted to call out sick from work or school, there's a little trick I use. And don't overdo it. And I might have overdone it once. If you really don't feel like going in, literally, if you decide this when you wake up, don't take a drink of water. Don't say hi to anybody. I've woken up and like, today's not the day. Call in, even like if you're sick, call in and really ham it up. Cough, sneeze, fart, whatever you gotta do. But if you're not sick and you're taking a healthy sick day, my trick is to call as soon as you wake up. Don't say anything and leave a voicemail. And your morning voice, it works. Throw a little cough in there, go, I'll see if I can take a nap and come in, and then you just don't come in. But I legitimately did that once, and people were scared for me. The next day they're like, "Wow, you sounded terrible." I was like, "Oh yeah, I recover quickly." No, it turns out that I am a genius. I don't know. So don't abuse it. And kids, go to school. Trust me. But if you need some help, go with that. And this is going to happen a couple times. I'm sorry. I'm going to cough a little bit. But I really am. See? I would be such a good actor if I could do that on command. But I can't. But I was thinking about it when I was sick, that when I was a child, I would hear people say, "Oh, I love watching The Price is Right when I'm sick," all that. I wasn't punished for being sick, but I did not have that same experience. My mom would have a saying that if we were good enough to watch TV, we were okay to go to school, and I would get the choice of reading a book when I was sick, and that is probably why I don't read today. I'm gonna blame my mom because she does not watch this, but yeah, I didn't have a TV in my room, and I remember just wanting to watch anything on TV, just begging, like, please let me watch something on TV. And I'm sorry for the coughing. This is gonna be short, so I don't cough in your ear the whole time. I'm very sorry. But I was very lucky. Like, my mom, this entire time that I was sick, it was like almost living in a hotel, unless the hotel had twin beds, and I didn't get to take advantage of it. But my mom would make my dinner for me, which was very nice, and bring it up and put it on a tray outside. I felt like Bubble Boy from Seinfeld, just because I couldn't leave the room. But I did. I did. Like I said, I did go to the post office one day when I was sick. I didn't want to, but I had to. I probably shouldn't have. I knew I didn't have COVID because, like I said, the kids were the ones who got me a little bit sick, and they didn't have COVID, so I knew I didn't have it. But it's weird how you justify things in your head. It's like, well, because like when I hear about people getting sick and leaving the house, I'm like, how could you do it? You're the problem. And then I was stuck in my room for 5 days. And I was like, well, and 5 days might have been a little bit of an exaggeration. Let's see, what day was it that I went out of the house? It was Saturday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, I guess 4 days. At the beginning of the fourth day. But I think sick days, I don't know why we don't get to take sick days. I guess you do if you have days off, paid days off. That would be fun. What would that be like? I've never had one. But my ideal sick day would be this. Okay. My ideal sick day would be I'm not sick. But let's just say, for example, that I'm not sick, but I'm taking a sick day. What would I do on my ideal day off? One of the benefits of being sick, and even if you're not sick, I think you should still take it the night before. If you're planning a sick day, I can't say enough about NyQuil. NyQuil might be the best drug out. That might be better than weed. I'm sorry. NyQuil is God's gift and answer to everything. It'll put you to sleep on a volcano. This podcast is not brought to you by NyQuil, but it is. It should be. NyQuil. Vicks, hit me up. But if I could plan a sick day, I would take NyQuil the night before and sleep till maybe noon. Because there's nothing like the benefit of a sick day is, especially a real one when you're not faking it, is, at least for me, there's no guilt in missing work. There was upset, like, oh, things aren't going to get done that need to get done. But it's not like sometimes when you're just sitting there doing nothing healthily and it's like, oh, I could be doing stuff right now. I literally can't. I'm not allowed places. People are going to look at you weird if you're snoffing. I was trying to say sneezing and sniffling. If you're snuffling everywhere, people are going to get upset. So, that it's always nice to stay in bed. So I'm going to take NyQuil the night before, and who knows, maybe if I wake up at like 6, take another little swig, and sleep until 10 or 11. And if you live alone, this could be hard. But I guess if you're let's pretend you're not really that sick. Then you go get a hot cocoa or a nice hot tea. I personally, up until very recently, didn't like tea. I did find out hibiscus tea is delicious. But hot cocoa when you're sick, oh, just heaven. And then I don't think this is gonna be a surprise to anybody. Here comes the snacks. Dun 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 dun. I don't know what sound that is. Here comes the snacks. And I think it's all about liquids when you're sick, but not the boring kind like water. I didn't get to have any this time, and maybe that's why the sickness is still sticking with me a little bit. But I remember getting ginger ale in. I don't know if anyone else had this, but like the plastic mugs you get when you go to a stadium that have like the team picture and like a little plastic lid on top they can put a straw in. Putting ginger ale in one of those with a little bendy straw is better than any medicine in the history of the world. Ginger ale with a bendy straw could cure COVID. Don't quote me on that, but it's better than ivermectin, or at least as good. I'm just trying to start shit. Sorry, Joe Rogan. I wonder if I'm going to get in trouble on YouTube for saying that word. Who cares? But it is. Ginger ale and crackers, which, by the way, throw a little bit of peanut butter on those crackers, and you're having a party. You could also have some cheese, not on the same cracker, but that actually might be good. Salty, double salty. Crackers and ginger ale will cure your COVID, and I'm sorry. But that's not the only snack. So I like to go spicy when I'm sick to like cure things, and my it's not even that spicy, but I go with Chinese soup. I go with hot and sour soup, and then I like to get dumplings. A lot of my top food choices, which might surprise you, are just delivery systems for my favorite sauces. Like I like wings, but if there's no blue cheese, I'm going to be pissed. I'm probably not going to eat it because you need to have blue cheese. And that goes doubly. One of my favorite things, and probably my favorite thing about Chinese food, is the hot mustard and good ones. I hate the stuff that comes in packets. Listen, this is to all the Chinese food restaurant owners out there. I went to a store in Boynton Beach, Florida. It's like the Asian export store. I feel like that's literally the name of it. And I bought like 3 containers of the powder of like the good Chinese mustard. It was so... Stop giving me the guck that's already pre-combined and it's in a little packet. It's not spicy. That Chinese mustard could clear a dam. I don't know what is in there, but you just put a little bit too much on a little dumpling. You put it on the soup. You put it on the chicken, whatever you're eating, and it is waterfalls. Whatever that song is. I think it's a Coldplay song. Anything to get that nose flowing is good. And you just sit there, and like I watched Game of Thrones. I played on my phone. The sick day is really an adult's only way to enjoy life anymore. It got me thinking that I'm not going to try to get sick, but now that might be, I know I was teasing my girlfriend's kids about, not them, but her and you listening about them getting me sick. And I was like thinking, that might be a negative about dating someone with kids or just having kids in general is they get you sick. But it might also be a positive because then you get a vacation that, other than going through about 300 to 400 tissues in 48 hours, not bad. And everyone feels bad for you. They're like, "Oh, you're sick. Let me help you." Yes, please. It's the best. What else do I like about it? Yeah, I like watching TV. I like doing that. I like just having no worries or no responsibilities. When I was a kid, I could not wait to be an adult, and people tried to warn me like, "Oh, Lee, you're a kid for such a short time. Enjoy it while you can." And I didn't listen to them. So this is me coming to you from the future. Anyone under 33, specifically if you're under, I was gonna say if you're under 16, but I don't know if I should be directing messages to anyone under 18. So let me just say, if you're 18, if you're legal, I am digging myself into a hole. If you're still able to enjoy life, I'll put it that way. If you're still of an age where you're able to enjoy life and not have any responsibilities, every day is a sick day for you. Enjoy it. because pretty soon you end up writing cover letters. And I love that question where they ask you on on a job application, like, why do you want to work here? And the answer is that I'm using because I want to move out of my mom's house and I would like to have money that is mine. And frankly, it might not be working because I'm not getting any responses. It also might have something to do with when you Google my name, there are thousands of hours of content of me being so high that I don't remember it. But that's neither for me or you to say. And if you have seen a job application from me and I'm scaring you with my Highness, it is 2021 and weed is currently legal in the state that I live in. In every state that I live in, whether it's Massachusetts, Florida. I don't know how it is in New York. I have applied to some jobs in New York, but it is 2021 and you should stop being such a pussy. And I was high for a little bit, but it was legal. It was not illegal. I am a good Jewish boy. So why are people so afraid? I know this podcast doesn't really have a theme, but it's just me being sick and being out in the world again, and it's raining outside, and I'm looking forward to my snack tonight. But it's so funny how when you're applying to job, like people, I used to hate when I was applying to assistant editor jobs, they would use the term rock star. Like, we want a rock star AE, that stands for assistant editor. It's like, listen, dude, you're paying me, I don't know, under $1,000 a week a lot of times. Later on as you grow, you start making a little bit more money, but it's not like you're paying me an outrageous amount of money. You're paying me the bare minimum for me to work the hours that I'm working. Especially, I heard now that the entertainment industry might be striking because they make them work nights, and I would like to know if I could file a class action lawsuit or be part of any changes that are happening because of the night hours that I worked when I first moved to LA. Like, my schedule was 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. a lot, and that will turn you into a vampire. And turns out not the sexy kind that they put on HBO, but the kind that you're so pale that people will stop you on the street and try to give you medical advice, because that happens all the time. It might have also had something to do with me being over 300 pounds, but let's focus on things that aren't so much my fault, like my skin tone. But that's really it for this week, you guys. I am sorry for being late, and I just wanted to check in and give you some giggles and let you know that I love you. And that's it. I will be back next week with a guest and a full What Was I Thinking episode. I do want to thank our sponsor, BetterHelp, and I want to thank our sponsor for this week as well, Manscaped. Do you ever shave your balls and it ends up as bloody as a Nate Diaz fight? Well, good news, because today's episode is sponsored by the official electric trimmer of the UFC, Manscaped, and they just released their 4th generation performance package. Fellas, get your black belt in ball trimming and join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com and using code Syatt. The Performance Package 4.0 is here to help completely upgrade your male hygiene routine. Inside, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear, nose, and hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver, the Crop Reviver, and 2 free gifts, the Performance Boxer Briefs, and the Shed Travel Bag. I love everything in that. I have everything in that, and I can't recommend Manscaped enough. From the Crop Preserver and the Crop Reviver, I put those on every time I see my girlfriend because I want my balls to smell and taste delicious. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code Syatt at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code Syatt at manscaped.com. Time to knock out your pubes with Manscaped. Harder than Robbie Lawler knocked out Nick Diaz. He didn't really knock him out, but, I mean, you know, they talked about Nate Diaz at the beginning. Go to manscaped.com and knock out your pubes, and your sparring partner will thank you at manscaped.com using code Syatt. Thank you guys very much for watching and listening. I love you very much, and I'll see you next week on the What Was I Thinking podcast.